We're gonna start.
Okay.
And to start, can you pronounce your name, please?
Yeah, it's Àsgeir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to say it.
Yeah, like French people say it pretty well, I think.
Okay, let's try. Àsgeir.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool. So you're from Iceland, where you released your first album in 2012.
Yeah.
And I can't pronounce that name either. Can you say it?
Yeah, the Icelandic name is Dýrð í dauða þögn, which was then translated into In the Silence.
So that album came out like a year after the release in Icelandic?
Yeah, I think that's about the first release we did on the English album. But we started working on it like just a month after the release of the Icelandic album.
Was that your plan from the start, to have the album translated into English?
That was at least something that we discussed in the beginning, and it was for many reasons why we did it as well. You know, the Icelandic album was quite a big success in Iceland, and we started thinking about wanting to go outside of Iceland really early after that. And it was also because we got the opportunity to work with John Grant.
So about the title of the album, In the Silence, I think it's an interesting name for a musical album. Why did you choose that name? Is this how the silence sounds to you?
Well, one of the songs on the album is called In the Silence. And with the Icelandic album, there was a song also called Dýrð í dauða þögn, which was the title track. This is sort of a translation of that title, In the Silence, but the correct translation would be something like Glory in That Silence. And it's just too long, and so we shortened it to In the Silence. That lyric was made by Julius Robertsson, who is an old friend of mine who grew up in the same area as I did in the north side of Iceland. There is really just nothing there where I'm from, you know. I'm from a really small village, and he's actually from a farm. So, well, we connected to that feeling of, you know, when you just go outside of your house, you have this total silence that is sort of a feeling that connect to, you know, and feel relaxed when we go there. At least I do. So once in a while I always have to go home, and so when I think about In the Silence, it's
Feeling from home.
It's a feeling, yeah, definitely.
Because I was going to ask, where do you draw your inspiration from? So that would be also from the wilderness of Iceland?
Yeah, I think so. You can't really tell for sure, you know, what that has to do with anything, you know, but it's kind of just probably just makes you who you are, you know, growing up in these surroundings and surrounded by nature, and that was a big part of my life, you know, and I've always been really connected to it, so I guess it translates into the music as well, so yeah, I definitely think that's an influence on what I'm doing now and have been doing with music. But influence can be many things, and from just being music you listen to, you know, to the people you meet or where you are, what instrument you're playing, in what kind of a mood you are. It's many different things.
So about King and Cross, the song you just played for us, can you tell us what's the story behind that song in particular?
That's a song I wrote about a year before we started recording the album, and it was never supposed to be on the album. At least I never thought of it that way, because I was kind of just playing around at home. Never imagined this success as it has been having back in my home country as well. in the end, this was the second single that we released in Iceland, and kind of the reason why it blew up in Iceland and the success happened there. The lyric is made by my father and Julius, so it's kind of a strange mixture, and they didn't even speak together while they were doing the lyric, because my dad wrote like 2 verses and then a chorus, and when we got into the studio we felt like we needed one more verse to the song. And Julius just so happened to be in the studio, so we just sat down by a table and wrote down some verse. The song isn't really about anything specific, and one of the main reasons for that is because both the writers didn't talk to each other while they were doing the lyric.
So it's like a teamwork on that
yeah,
song.
Yeah.
Also, you just did a cover of a heart-shaped box from Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
And why did you choose this song in particular?
It was just something that one of the songs or albums or bands that got me into music, maybe when I was really young. Well, I covered this song once at some radio show long ago, and just on a piano, and people seemed to like it. So later on we did a studio version of the song, and we've been covering this song now on in our set list, like live. I like that, it was such a big part of my life when I was younger, and now I got the chance of making my own version of this song. Also
about some of your covers, I have to say that I really loved your cover of Wrecking Ball that you did on I think it was a Dutch radio.
Yes. Yeah.
And well, that was really amazing.
Why
did you choose that song also? Like
we were given like a list of like chart songs on Dutch radio, like top, I don't know, 20 or something. I don't know, I just picked the first song on the list without thinking about it too much. And me and Julius, we practiced it before the day before, and played it on this morning show, and did not expect this to be received this way.
It was pretty amazing. Like, we had an article about it. Okay, so on a completely different topic, talking about Iceland, I wanted to know what are some of your favorite things about Iceland, or some of the things you miss when you're traveling abroad?
Some of the things I miss, well, I definitely, miss my family when I'm abroad. I miss my dogs. I
How many dogs
miss
do you
my
have?
friends. I have 2 dogs. I miss just the atmosphere there, and you kind of just get into this different feel when you go there, because it's your home probably. You kind of feel that when you get there, then you can properly relax, and but I don't think about it too much when we're touring. Most of the time we have a lot to do, and we try to make as much of everything as we can, and it's just great fun.
Cool. Well, we wish you a lot of success for your incoming tour dates.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this.
Thanks.
So if you're okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about your tattoos, if you want to show us.
Yeah, sure. It's not too much, and it's still still work in progress, and a lot to do. Well, this is the first one, and this is clearly in utero with Nirvana, like just the album cover. Just really always like this design, so there's a tattoo artist in Iceland who did this for me, who actually lived next to me where I grew up in the north. That was the first one. Then over here is kind of I've always just wanted a chest piece. I don't know why, it's just something that I always wanted, and I got to know this tattoo artist in Iceland called Gunni, and he's a musician as well, and we got along really well, and came up with the idea of making this for me. And it's kind of a reference to just the point where my life totally changed, and which happened with this Icelandic album, with the first album we released in Iceland, and it's kind of a reference to the album title, which I said earlier. Like it's called. Well, direct translation would be something like "Glory in Dead Silence," and something that represents that. Well, this is an owl and a Mexican scroll. There's a lot of owls at where I grew up. I used to see a lot of them growing up, and always been really fascinated by those creatures. Just something mystique about them and magical. Yeah, so that was the same guy that made this and this. And then we have a rose here.
So it's several tattoos that you blended into one arm piece.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of a work in progress that we're gonna try and finish hopefully when I get home.
What about the ring one? What's the story behind?
That's a work in progress as well.
Okay.
Nothing behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a sticker from our website.
Okay.
Can you read French?
No.
Do you want to try to read French?
Well, if you tell me just what.
Sure. So I'll say it first. So it reads: Je lis Madmoizelle et j'ai pas de culotte.
Je lis Madmoizelle et what was this?
J'ai pas de culotte.
J'ai pas de culotte.
Perfect.
You know,
you can show
is this
it.
perfect?
You can show it. So it means I read Mademoiselle and I'm not wearing any panties.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.